Frightening images from Arizona. The landscaping crew surrounded by bees, hundreds of thousands of them. ABC's Clayton Sandell with the warning tonight.
These firefighters are not fighting a fire. They're spraying foam and pesticide where swarming bees attacked a landscaping crew. One person was killed.
It was supposed to be another peaceful afternoon on the farm. A man and his bees. A routine check. A job he'd done 1,000 times. But on that day, under a bright blue sky, something changed. A storm of wings and fury. And in seconds, Samuel Reyes would be fighting for his life. This is the tragic and haunting story of Samuel Reyes, a devoted beekeeper whose last moments were caught on camera, and whose death serves as a stark warning to us all. If you're new here, welcome to Animal Quest, the channel where we dive deep into the real-life stories of humans and the animals that changed their lives forever. Before we continue, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share this video, because these stories need to be heard. Samuel Reyes was 42 years old, a third-generation beekeeper in the warm hills of Southern California. He learned the craft from his grandfather, who taught him to respect the bees, to see them not as threats, but as partners. For Samuel, beekeeping was more than work. It was family, it was tradition, it was life. His wife, Elena, later said, Sam could stand for hours among the hives, and the bees would just settle. He said they felt his calm, and they gave it back. For years, Samuel managed dozens of hives across the valley. He raised Italian honeybees, a docile breed known for their gentle nature. But in the spring of 2023, something changed. Something dark was moving in the hills, a new threat hidden among the golden wildflowers. Africanized honeybees, also known as killer bees. Africanized bees were brought to Brazil in the 1950s, intended for research. They escaped, spreading north, more aggressive, more territorial, and more easily provoked. And they had finally reached Samuel's valley. Neighbors began to notice swarms acting strangely, faster, angrier, and less predictable. Samuel knew the risks. He'd read the reports, but he believed in his bond with the bees. He believed that calm and respect would keep him safe.
Officials believe they were Africanized killer bees.
How aggressive were these bees?
Pretty aggressive. They were already dropping down at me as soon as I started approaching.
It was a warm afternoon. Samuel was doing a routine inspection of the hives on the edge of his property. He wore his protective gear, carried his smoker, and moved with the same practiced ease he always had. But just beyond his carefully tended boxes, a wild hive had taken hold, hidden in the branches of an old oak tree. A hive that didn't know him. A hive that didn't care about respect. As Samuel moved closer, he noticed the buzzing was louder, different. He paused, adjusted his gloves, and took a step back. But it was too late. The first sting landed just above his eyebrow. Then, another. Then, dozens. The bees poured from the oak tree like a living cloud. Thousands upon thousands, driven by a single purpose: defend the queen. Samuel tried to back away, but they followed him. Every inch of exposed skin became a target. The stings came fast, each one burning like fire. His face, his neck, his hands. He ran for the fence, but they stayed with him.
It was so horrendous. It was awful. And I felt so powerless, there was nothing I could do.
A neighbor tried to help, waving a blanket, but the swarm turned on them too. It was a nightmare of sound and movement, a cloud of fury that would not be stopped. Samuel managed to reach the gate. He stumbled, gasping, the bees in his hair, in his mouth, stinging again and again. He fell to his knees, his vision going dark. But still, he tried to crawl, away from the hives, away from the pain. For Samuel, the repeated stings triggered anaphylactic shock. His airway closed. His heart raced and then slowed.
These dangerous bee attacks, experts say it's seasonal, with weather playing a big role.
Throughout the state of California, we've had a lot of rain, and increased rainfall can lead to a boom in bee populations.
And experts say increased rainfall means more blooming flowers, feeding the bee population, which is not typically aggressive, but can be when feeling threatened.
By the time the paramedics reached him, Samuel had been stung over 400 times. They pulled him away from the swarm, giving him epinephrine, CPR, everything they could. But the damage was done. At 3:14 p.m., Samuel Reyes was pronounced dead on his own land, surrounded by the creatures he loved. The news of his death spread quickly. Local beekeeper killed by killer bees. Tragedy in the hills of Southern California. Are Africanized bees taking over? Headlines, shock, and grief.
Is not typically aggressive, but can be when feeling threatened. So if you are swarmed by bees,
Run away as far as you can, as fast as you can.
run away. Do not stay still or play dead. Cover your face and ears and find shelter.
Officials from the Department of Agriculture arrived. They traced the swarm back to the wild hive in the oak tree, a colony of Africanized bees that had grown too large, too aggressive, too close to homes. Experts removed the hive, taking samples, measuring the queen, but the damage was already done. Samuel's family chose not to blame the bees. Elena Reyes said at his memorial, "Sam would have wanted people to understand. Bees aren't evil, they're wild. They need to be respected, and that means giving them the space they need to live safely." In the weeks after Samuel's death, beekeepers and officials began calling for more awareness, better training for hobbyist beekeepers, clear warnings about the risks of Africanized bees, and the importance of early intervention when wild swarms appear. Samuel's story became a symbol, a reminder that nature's smallest creatures can also be its most powerful. Samuel Reyes was a man of peace, a man of patience. He believed in the harmony between humans and bees. But that day, nature reminded us all. Even the smallest creature can claim the largest price, and even the gentlest heart can be lost to the wild. If this story moved you, if it made you pause, reflect, or want to learn more, please subscribe, like, and share this video. Comment below with your thoughts. Tell us, how can we honor Samuel's memory and protect the balance between humans and the wild? Thank you for watching, and remember, respect nature, because nature always remembers you.